Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now, coming up in today's episode, we're going to be previewing the two big matches coming up on the weekend. The first big one, title deciding implication, Everton versus Man City. And the second game, Arsenal facing off against Brighton. Now, of course, both of these games are going to be taking place on Sunday. Man City with the earlier kickoff, followed by the Arsenal fixture. So definitely the pressure is on. Now we're going to turn our attention to first looking and previewing that Everton versus Man City game. Now, of course, Man City coming into this one off the back of a draw in the Champions League, and Everton coming into this one off a positive result versus Brighton. And of course, the status of both teams is that Everton is really looking to fight off relegation, while of course Man City is making their title push, leading the league with a game in hand over Arsenal as well. Of course, this is going to be a very interesting game from my point of view. Everton will definitely be pushing, definitely coming to this one looking for a result. And of course, on the other hand, Man City is coming into this one as well with the expectation to get a win. So it's going to be a very tight affair. This one, of course, being played at Goodison. And we saw where when Sean Dyche came in to take over the managerial position at Everton, they had a very good result beating Arsenal. Can they do Can they get a victory again over another league leader in the form of Man City? This one is going to be a tight affair. I'm expecting a raucous atmosphere over there on Merseyside. And of course, definitely the fans will be pushing this team to see what they can do to get a result against the might of Man City. Of course, we saw Real Madrid in the Champions League, I would say, did a fantastic job to nullify the likes of Erling Haaland. And hopefully Everton was paying keen attention to that game, and the defender Rudiger, which pretty much pocketed Haaland for that entire game. So definitely the Everton defenders should be looking to emulate that performance and hopefully can keep a tight wrap on Haaland and on the Man City team. Of course, from a tactical point of view, I'm expecting a robust defensive display from Everton. They should have their two banks of four, everyone behind the ball looking to soak up pressure, and of course, playing on the break. Calvert-Lewin has been finding some good form of late, have been putting in some good key performances, and he should be a threat on the counter, as well as McNeil had a fantastic game against Brighton and should also be a threat once the play breaks down and they try to quickly transition into attack against Man City. That's the only way I see Everton really setting up against this Man City team. They are unable to compete with them in terms of ball possession, passing, and chance creation. So my assessment is that definitely Sean Dyche is going to look to lock up shop, try to remain defensively solid, and try to maximize set plays and, of course, the quick counter attack. Man City, on the other hand, of course, we know what to expect. Ball dominance, pretty much controlling the tempo of the game, controlling the midfield, passing, movement, looking to break down what I anticipate should be a stalwart Everton defense. Pickford had a fantastic game against Brighton, pulling off some fantastic save. That's the England #1 keeper right there. So he should be very active in this game as well. He's the last line of defense. So if Man City are able to create some chances, then hopefully Pickford can definitely keep the Man City attack at bay. This one to me is going to be a tight affair. I don't expect it to go to the script. There's too much on the line. Everton is definitely in need of points with other teams around them also playing and potentially picking up points on Saturday. This game, of course, take place on Sunday, so they should be aware of their league position come kickoff, and that will determine to a large extent, create some sort of motivation to go there and get a result. And for this one, personally, I am anticipating a bit of twist and turn. And I feel Everton should be able to come away from this one with what I expect to be a draw. They will obviously come under pressure. They will have to remain defensively solid. They will have to remain disciplined, in terms of not picking up red cards, players being sent off. The fans will play a key role, of course. But I just feel that Sean Dyche, on the back of a performance against Brighton, knowing what the expectations are come end of season, which is to avoid relegation and remain in the English Premier League, I just think they might get something positive from this game. And for that, I am predicting that this one will end in a 1-1 draw. Now, of course, the next big match that's taking place is Arsenal versus Brighton. Now, this one is going to be a sumptuous affair, especially for the neutrals. Arsenal need to win in order to keep pace with Man City. And Brighton, coming from what I would classify as a humiliating defeat at home to Everton, will be looking to bounce back. Of course, we know these two teams are two ball-playing teams. They look to build from the back with passes and look to break down their opponent with slip movement and quick passes in the attacking third. So this one should be an exciting, mouth-watering fixtures. Both managers should be gunning for each other. Arteta looking to solidify and push and put Man City under pressure. Of course, if Kiri was here, he would say Arsenal are still in with a mathematical chance of lifting the league. Some may believe that that ship has already sailed, but definitely Arteta would be looking to push Man City to the very end. They are playing at home. The home fans should be up for this one, and they are expected to get a result. Brighton, on the other hand, have European aspirations. They have had a tremendous season thus far and would not want to see their season derail close to the finish line. So Brighton should be coming into this one looking to bounce back. Of course, they are facing a few injuries to key players such as Sully March. He, I believe, picked up a hamstring injury in the last game. But the likes of McAllister, Mitoma, and the young forward Ferguson should prove to be a handful for the Arsenal rearguard. Of course, Arsenal coming off that spirited win against Newcastle in their previous game should come in this one full of confidence. The likes of Saka, Odegaard, this team is filled with forward-thinking players who have the ability to put the ball in the back of the net. Of course, we saw where Partey got benched in the Newcastle game. Will he return? I am not so sure. I am not sure Arteta will look to disrupt a winning team. So Jorginho may very well get another start. And of course, Zinchenko, I am hearing, is out for the season with an injury. So Tierney should come in for him in that left back position. So it's going to be a tight affair. It's going to be a tactical battle from both managers because both managers look to play from the back and both managers look to press high up the field. So this one is going to be a battle of playing styles. Will Brighton press Arsenal and press successfully? And will Arsenal press Brighton and press successfully? Who will stick to their principles? Which team has the discipline to maintain their playing style? Which team has the discipline to make on-field tactical changes based on how the game may be evolving? I am looking for goals in this one. I am anticipating goals in this one. And for the neutrals, I am expecting a picturesque game, a game with free-flowing football, a game which displays the total football type mentality of the former years of a Barcelona. So for the neutrals, I can tell you this one should be a very exciting fixture and one which is filled with goals and attacking plays. Tactically, both managers are brilliant at what they do. We saw where Brighton's manager Potter had left and De Zerbi came in and had lifted this team even to higher heights than where Potter had this team playing. And of course, Arteta Arsenal has had a tremendous season. If not for Man City, then this would be a championship season. But Man City is there, Man City is there, but the fight is still not over. And of course, they at this point in time, Arsenal has nothing to lose. They have to go for the win. They have to take the game to Brighton. And that is what makes this game exciting. No team will be looking to sit back and soak up pressure. Both teams will be looking to dominate the ball. Brighton has been a possession-based team, one of the top teams for possession in the league. If not the top, they are definitely competing neck and neck with Man City in terms of their possession stats as they play one game to the next. Arsenal, as we know, is also a possession-based team, so it's going to be a battle of the wits. No team will be looking to sit back. Both teams will be looking to play expansive football, and I am anticipating goals with so many attacking players on the field. We know Mitoma, he has been a breakout star this season in the EPL. With his skillful flicks and tricks and his pace, his trickery down the flank. McAllister, as we know, World Cup winning midfielder. It is as if he has ice cold veins. I recall him putting away that 90-minute penalty against Manchester United recently to pretty much secure all 3 points for Brighton. So both teams are filled with talented footballers. Jesus is coming to his own of his injuries. Xhaka oftentimes pop up with a goal here or there. So both teams have players which can come to the fore with individual pieces of brilliance and win a game for either team. So with anticipation, I anticipate this one going down to the wire. It should be a fiery game from start to finish. And in terms of a scoreline, I am thinking Arsenal may very well have too much for this Brighton team. So I'm going to say for this one, I am looking at a 3-2 scoreline. I think this game is just going to be filled with goals. It's going to be filled with attacking plays. It's going to be filled with oohs and ahs. But with the motivation that Arsenal has, with the fans behind their back pushing them, and with the potential result, as I said, I am anticipating Man City to draw with Everton. So if Arsenal sees this, being that Man City game would have been played earlier, that again should provide impetus to say, hey, let's go, let's get a victory, let's close this gap, let's give ourselves a fighting chance and take this title race down to the final day. So I am anticipating Arsenal to walk away from this one with a victory and create a new narrative as it relates to the EPL title. For the neutrals, this would be fantastic. And for the league, this would even be greater because for sure, it will go right down to the wire, right down to the final day, bringing memories back of that Manchester City, Manchester United, and that Aguero goal, securing the title with the last kick of the ball for Man City. That was one of the most exciting EPL seasons or finishes to a season I've witnessed. So let's hope this one also takes on such a form and we can have a title race that goes right down to the wire. But of course, many more matches are on display and many more narratives are being created. Lots going on in terms of the relegation battle. Of course, Everton being part of that fight. Uh, Nottingham Forest is in that fight. Southampton is almost gone, but not yet from a mathematical point of view. Southampton need to win all their remaining matches to even stand a chance of escaping from relegation. So they are still in with a shout. So a lot is happening in the basement of the EPL. And of course, at the top end as well, in terms of that fight for European position, that is also fully on, hotting up, as you would say. Man U, Newcastle, Liverpool is in the mix as well. And who to tell if Brighton gets a result against Arsenal, then they throw their hat in the ring also. So the fight for that top four is also highly anticipated and is on in earnest. So this weekend, again, is going to be another exciting weekend of football. Of course, our attention will definitely be keyed in on these two massive games coming up. But we move. And viewers and subscribers, we leave it here for this week. Just gonna ask you and thank you for tuning in to us. It's just me by myself this evening. No Kiri, no Sugar Belly, you know. But just gonna ask you to continue to subscribe to the platform if you haven't done so as yet. If you have subscribed, then please share the platform and help us to grow. Of course, feel free also to like and comment. But until next time, this is Rafa signing off.